Hi everyone and welcome to Classic Gamer 74. I'm your host Anthony Gamer, and today we're going to be discussing handheld and plug-and-play games. In recent years there's been a resurgence of these handheld games, and I'm not talking about those really bad Tiger handheld games that we had in the 80s and 90s. I'm talking about actual handheld video game machines that have multiple games on them. Quite a few companies have had their own versions of these and of plug-and-play games like Atari, Genesis, and Intellivision, just to name a few. So today I've selected the 5 that I own, and I'm going to tell you whether you want to buy them or bop them. Remember, this is strictly my opinion, so some of these you may like that I don't, and you may want to go out and buy them. And the ones I recommend, you may say, nah. So it's totally up to you, but I'm going to review them for you, so you got a pretty good idea of what you're in for. So without further ado, let's get started. First one I'm going to talk about today is the Atari Flashback 8 Gold. Now this one comes with 120 built-in games. Some of them original, some of them are prototypes, and some of them are new just for this system. And you can usually find this right around $65 to $70. It also comes with 2 wireless joysticks that you do need batteries for, but it has inputs in the front so that you can plug in wired joysticks. It has an HDMI input, an AC power adapter, and it is actually much smaller than the original 2600. It can pretty much fit in the palm of your hand. And it has a menu to guide you through the games, which also contain a lot of background information on the game, instructions, and other pretty cool information. And best of all, you can save your favorite games into a save game area so that you can navigate a little bit quicker. Alright, now there are a couple downsides to this. First of all, it has paddle games, but it does not come with paddle controllers. Those you have to either own them from your old Atari, or you have to purchase them separately. Also, it's not expandable. The new Sega Genesis plug and play has a cartridge slot so that you can play the built-in games and add in some cartridges that you purchase or may actually own. Another is that the on-screen menus are sometimes kind of hard to see. The type is very small, the fonts, and so it can be a little hard to see. But I would say probably the worst or the biggest downfall is there is some slight delay between pushing the button on the joystick and the response you get on screen. Now it's kind of almost like just a half of a second. But in a game such as Pitfall, that's a big difference. So overall, though, I would have to say buy it, as you can actually buy this deluxe edition for about maybe $5 to $10 more. I've seen it fluctuate around there, where you can get the paddle controllers. And even without them, paddle controllers go relatively cheap on eBay anyway. I got 4 sets of them for like $10. So I definitely say yes, buy it, especially for those of you that aren't really big into the emulation and you want to get the feel of the old Atari. This is definitely for you. Alright, next I'm going to talk about the mini handheld game built-in 268 games. Yep, that's the official title. Now, when I purchased this off Top Hatter, it came in this, not a box. It came in a regular padded envelope with this inside. So you open it up, and this is what you got. So I'm going to tell you about this thing from top to bottom and let you know what I thought of it. And get started. Now, what you see here is it's kind of shaped like a Game Boy, although it's not a Game Boy. You have your on-off switch up here at the top. The screen itself is about 2 inches by 2 inches. You have this sound button here that you can adjust the sound with. You have your A and B buttons. You have your A and B turbo buttons, but for some strange reason they switched them around. I don't quite understand why that is. Down here you have your game reset button, and your start and stop button. Now the D-pad is quite interesting because it's not actually a D-pad, it's actually 4 separate buttons, as you can see here, which takes a little getting used to. So let's go ahead and try it out. Start it up. Now you notice you have the choice of English or Japanese. That's mostly for the menu because unfortunately not all the games are actually in English. So let's move down and start. Now a lot of the games you'll find here are actually NES games. So let's go down and we'll start Super Mario Brothers. Okay. Yeah, the music's a little fast. The controls are a little hard to get used to because, like I said, with that D-pad. So you got pretty good, decent sound, a pretty decent picture. Like I said, it's a little hard to get used to the controls because, like I said, it's not quite an actual D-pad. Nope. I don't know why it's so fast. So you can kind of see. Okay, now if you ever decide you're tired of the game, let's hit this reset button. And it takes us back to the main menu. So there's all kinds of cool games built in here. Let's see, let's pick. And some of these I've never heard of, so I don't know what they are. I haven't had a chance to try them all out. One thing I did notice, though, is that some of these games are actually generic or rip-off games of other ones, such as this one, Happy Boys. Check this out. Bounce. Okay. Yeah, it's a poor rip-off of Mappy. Yeah. And you find this with a lot of the games on here. They're actually... A lot of them are really bad rip-offs of something else that they say they are, but you're like, okay, let's try this game out. Like, wait a minute, this looks kind of familiar. So, all right, let's try. If you think, no, check this out. Let's check out the regular Mappy. Oop, wrong button. Reset. Go down to English. So you see, you got quite a few games to choose from, and no, that bubble is not Bubble Bobble. I already tried that. Dig Dug, City Connection. Like I said, some of these I have never heard of. So yeah, you do have some recognizable games. You got like Donkey Kong 3 in there. Of course, one of my all-time favorite games, Popeye. But now check out the graphics and how small this is. Okay. See, now watch, you hit this is the punch button. Now hit the turbo button right above it, nothing. Hit the other turbo, see? So the turbos are actually kind of reversed. So you have to hit that, get used to that D-pad. Okay. So I've been playing this for a while, so I'm kind of used to the controls a little bit, so anyway. So this is, again, the mini handheld built-in 268 games. Okay, so in regards to this, I would have to definitely say bop it. One thing I decided to try, because I had a Game Boy many years ago, was to purchase the screen magnifier and light up thing, because as you knew back in the day, a Game Boy did not have a backlight, and sometimes that screen could be hard to see. So I purchased this cool little thing. It's battery operated. You turn it on, see it gives you a light, and it magnifies the screen. So I thought, hey, I could still save this thing. One problem, this may look like a Game Boy, but it's not a Game Boy. It doesn't stay on no matter what I try to do. So that was a total waste of money. Oh well. Anyway, yeah, definitely I would have to say bop it. Don't waste your money. Even though, see, look at it. Even though you may like it for nostalgia reasons and want to try some of the games, these things usually retail for close to about 20 bucks. And with the screen being so little, I played for about 5-10 minutes and I got a headache. Speaking of which, if any of you would like to have this, have an old Game Boy and think you would get some use out of this thing, send me a message down in the comment section below or direct message me on AtariAge.com. My name is ClassicGamer74 and I will send you this free. So just let me know. Okay, and next up we have the mini handheld game built-in 268 games. This was a gift from my wife. You can see it's pretty similar to the other, except for this one is shaped like a Sega Game Gear, only smaller. Has the same size screen, 2 inches. Now, of course, the layout is going to be a little bit different, as the Sega Game Gear was a different animal. The power switch is right here on the top. You can see it's this little slide button. You have your A and B buttons, and you have your turbo. Once again, they're also reversed. You have this, you can see that you have the reset button here, and you have this extra button that has no function whatsoever. And right over here you have your sound button, and again you have these 4 buttons that are supposed to serve as the D-pad, and then you have the start stop button. So let's check this out. Same thing. Hey, wait a minute. This looks kind of familiar. Well, if it does look familiar, it should, because these are the exact same games that you had on the other one. Show you. Yep, Super Mario Brothers. And like the other one, it's very fast. You know, the countdown goes a lot faster than it does in the actual NES game. And like the other one, the controls are a little iffy and take a while to get used to. Oops. Now, in this one, you have the... Oops. Hit the reset button here. And it takes you back to the screen. Oops. So you can see you got quite a few games to choose from here, although to be honest, they are pretty much... Okay, they are the exact same games in the exact same order. The only difference is this thing is shaped like a Game Gear and not a Game Boy. And as far as the mini handheld game built-in 268 games, I would definitely also have to say Bop It. This definitely is not really worth the money, same as the other one, because of the fact the screen is so little and you pretty much get the exact same games. I would definitely have to say Bop It. Might be a nice gift for a little kid or someone else if you've already purchased it like I did. One of the downsides I would say to both of these is they are not plug and play. They don't have the capability to be plugged into a TV or a larger device. And with the screen only being 2 inches tall, you're looking at giving yourself a major headache. Right, and next I'm going to talk about the Mini Games Anniversary Edition built-in 620 classic games. This I also purchased at Top Hatter, so let's get started on this thing. Alright, and next up we have the Minigame Anniversary Edition Entertainment System, built-in 620 games. Okay, now this one kind of looks like a shrunken NES, as you can see. Let's go ahead and open up the box and see what we got here. Oops. So you got quite a few cables here. Now the joystick, or excuse me, joypad, you can see it looks just like a regular Nintendo. You have a one-piece joypad, D-pad, the select and start buttons, the A and B buttons, and you have the turbo for the right button right above it. So you see that you have all... One of the things that makes this, of course, the plug and play is you have this. Again, you can plug it right into the back of the TV and into the back of the system. Now check that out. Look how little this is. You can kind of use my hand as a reference. No, this doesn't open up, sorry. Looks quite a bit like, okay, it looks just like an NES, except for, of course, you don't have the top low. You don't have the thing to open. You have the power buttons here and reset. And you have the plugins here for the joy pads. And then, you know, on the back here, you have the AV output, and then you have your slot for the DC adapter, DC input. So, well, let's check this out and see how this turns out. Okay, so let's check it out. Now, you see here that it says 620 games in one. Now, I'm going to pick Super Contra. Now, you see it already has some built-in cheats, so I can actually start the game with 30 lives. So, it's the same with regular Contra. You don't have to press up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A, start. You can just pick to start the game with 30 lives. Now, as you can see, it's very nice graphics. Looks just like an NES, and there are several great NES games already built in here. There are some that are missing, which, you know, of course, is going to be kind of, I'm sure you kind of predicted there would be some games that would not make it in here. There is one bad thing I will tell you about this, is that it doesn't quite have 620 games. It has about 200 and some games, and it repeats some games up to 3 times. So that 620 is not exactly the truth. I will go through the menu a little bit here, and you will start to see stuff repeat. Other things that you have the option of is to choose the games and choose which level you'd like to start out on. So you have quite a bit of games to play through, although, like I said, the 620 is kind of, I would say, misleading, but yet I would honestly have to say buy this. If you're an NES player like I was, you're going to get a lot out of it. And still, it's going to take you like a while to play 200 and some games anyway, so go ahead and buy this one. Last but certainly not least, I have the Wolfson Game World Portable Game Console. We have the Wolfson Game World. It's a portable game console. It has a 2.5-inch screen. One thing it does have is different games and different levels, so let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, 152 games in one. Turn the sound up a little bit. Where is the sound? Oh, yeah, that's right. The sound is right here on the side. Now, unfortunately, one other thing. Oh, too loud. The A is the only one that has the turbo, which you get quite. And like the other ones, it has a D-pad that is kind of not a D-pad. One button reset. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's go pick my favorite game, Contra. Oh, forgot you gotta hit the A button. Now check it out. It's got some pretty cool cheats built in. So instead of going up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A, start, you just go up here to number 2, hit the button. You're going to play Contra. Check it out, 30 lives. All right. Nice clear picture, really great sound. So there you go. That reset. I have to hold it a little bit. That's get you back here again. Now, the screen again is kind of a little on the small side. It's only 2.5 inches, so you got like 1 inch, half inch bigger than the other ones. But that's okay because it also comes with this. That's right. It comes with this, so you can actually plug it into a television. So yes, I would definitely say that the Wolfson is a buy it. Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode of Classic Gamer 74. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give us a great big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to click that little bell icon down there at the bottom so you'll be notified when I upload new episodes. And please consider becoming a Patreon. In my next episode, I will be discussing Children's and Educational Games Part 3. And these games were all computer games. So you will not want to miss this one. Well, this has been Anthony Gamer, and I will see each and every one of you in the next episode. Thanks for stopping by. Until then, have a great day. Goodbye.